You ready? All right, I'm calling this meeting to order. It's 4:35. If anyone wishes to speak, we'd ask you to sign in. Who's taking the sign in?
Leave the signs over there that I am, my heart.
Okay. So determination of a quorum. Sorry, I just kind of on this present. We're taking attendance right now. Okay. So I'm a little rattled, but I will get it together momentarily. Ms. Richards.
I'm here.
Who's down there? Mr. Rensberger,
Oh,
Ms. Parker Brindle,
here.
Dr. Curtis,
Still
Mr. Phillips,
here.
and I am here too. All right, so we have a quorum. We are going to be adding an item to new business. The TMC purchase, so we'll have a new item on new business.
What's the PMC?
Well, we'll talk about it when we get there.
Oh, okay.
It's exciting stuff.
I'll have to Google it.
Okay, so we have the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So. I'll move.
I'll say.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, to approve the consent agenda. Any questions or comments?
Does the consent agenda have it may not, does it have the finances and
It does.
it does?
The bill list.
list. Just the bill.
Just the bill list? Yeah, I don't know about the bill list. I'm gonna go ahead.
All right, so I'll take the vote. Ms. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Rensberger.
Aye.
Ms. Parker.
Aye.
Dr. Curtis, Mr. Bilba.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Everyone, since you don't have to do you don't want to. Oh, super, great. And Nicole's not here. Right. Right, okay, thank you for that. Director's report.
Yes, so we had a little accident at Center. I know, who knew that fire suppression systems, the water in them is black.
Ew.
They test them once a year and in the meantime, the water just sits in there. So we did lose about 600 plus books. Which, easy enough to replace, but it's the carpet. You did hear today, Rana, about 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think about 6 weeks before the carpet is replaced.
So that doesn't put us too far behind. We were ahead of schedule to open
Right.
at the beginning of August, so that puts us back on schedule mid to late September to reopen, so it was sad to see.
Are they,
Yeah.
are they insured or they accept?
They're insured.
Responsibility?
Oh, Majority, I cannot say enough good things about Majority. They have been really great to work through all of this with. They had already called the architect before I had a chance to call the architect. They got ServPro out there right away. They have been really wonderful in managing the problem, yeah. LaSalle is closed. We had our first in-progress owner architect contractor meeting out there this week. It looks empty. They've got all the ceiling stuff down, but they're primarily focusing on the exterior of the building and the addition so they can get all that done before it gets cold. Exciting news, the Community Foundation had these funds available after the renovation of the main library, and Rose and I talked about the best use of those, and she went back and discussed with the donor, and so they are donating annually 25,000 to be, it's invested in the Community Foundation, so they're expecting approximately $25,000 a year donation for programming in that space. So we'll use that for our culturally speaking authors.
So are they suggesting that could go on indefinitely?
Yes. Very nice, very nice.
It's huge.
That's huge. That's huge. And the authors of note are expensive. So this helps us sort of become that venue in the community to get some authors in.
So would one possibility for that be if we decided, let's say, for the next 5 years, we were gonna pull out like 5% a year so that we actually got into a point where we had $125,000 or $150,000 in there, so then we would have a
No.
really big sum, or they want us to spend the whole 25?
They want us to
They
spend.
want us to spend it down
Yeah.
every year.
And it could be used for programming in that space, or if we needed new audio visual equipment or something like that, we could upgrade our equipment in that way.
Okay. Is there a name, are we supposed to be naming this thing
No.
on after somebody?
No, I don't even know who the
Or is it
donor
not?
is in particular.
Okay, because it's really very generous.
Very generous. The summer reading kickoff party was amazing and so much fun. My staff did a great job, and this year we brought it out of the courtyard onto Michigan Avenue. So it was First Friday, so you could just see it down the street. The activity, there was a Cubs game downtown, like it was just hopping downtown, and it was exciting to be part of that. They signed up 815 people. I did put by your spot our newest as of last Friday. How many registrations we have for Summer Reading Club? And of note, that 12 to 18 group is double where we were at last year.
Wow.
And I know the youth services team did some really intentional outreach at the high schools in order to get kids excited about the Summer Reading Club. So that is you can see Heidi's exclamation points behind that. They're extremely excited about the payoff of their work. And then just for fun, you can see what the
Yeah.
top titles that are being logged and being stacked, which is our app for tracking summer reading books.
Mhm.
So Harry Potter and Junie B. Jones are still making it.
Wow, I saw Junior be there.
And Catching Fire was really popular. That's part of the Hunger Games series. I think there's a movie coming out this summer. So that's been popular again this summer. And then finally, our picture book project is completed, where we've organized picture books by genre. Our center staff have been working on that. They've been going around the system and relabeling and reorganizing everything. And everything I hear about them is that they have been phenomenal to work with. So that's an exciting completion to that project.
And how's it being received by patrons?
I think and especially since I haven't heard any complaints about it. So that usually means they like it.
We found, considered this just a whole new
Yeah.
set of books we never would have read.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard specifically Dawn or Rana, but usually if people don't like things, that's when we hear about it.
No, I think everybody loves.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was really, Dawn took the branch managers, I want to say last year, on a field trip to some libraries in the Chicago area. And they came back with that idea and we implemented it. So an exciting team project there.
That gonna be, grown out into the older children or the teens or anything, or is it just gonna stay in the young children?
What we're looking at now as part of our strategic plan objectives is our nonfiction. And what can we do with nonfiction to make it more browsable? And we've seen a couple of different models that are either a combination of Dewey and subjects, or like a full-on Barnes and Noble style, doing away with Dewey. So Dave Height and the team in collection services is looking at some possibilities for us there. So that's where we would go next. Our call number system is hard for people in nonfiction. So what can we do to make that easier? All right, that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you for you and staff's work. Thank you. Very impressive. All right, patron engagement report. Oh, wait, I need to accept yes, sorry about that. Do I have a motion to accept the director's report?
She said.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Patron engagement report, Rhonda Plummer.
Speaking of popular titles, the top children's title was Bear Has a Belly, and I just love that cover so much. I had to make it
Mhm.
bigger than the others because
Oh, yeah.
and then a couple of pictures of the top. We participated in the Mental Health Awareness Michiana Spring Fair. We brought the book bike there. And La Casa's computer graduation class, two library employees actually teach the classes, and at the end of the session, the participants in the class, they get a free laptop.
Wow.
Provided by a grant, not provided
Yes,
by the
not by-
library.
But I attended, it was really great. Everyone had their families, lots of pictures were taken.
And for some of those families, it's the only graduation they've ever been to. Which is exciting.
Page two, the PET continues to see an increase in door count. And overall, we had a 120% increase in total computer minutes since May of last year, with increases seen at every location except, of course, the two that are closed. Let's see, page three, total circulation is holding steady since May of last year at around 166,000. And for digital circulation, it increased by 14% since May of last year with Hoopla and Canopy and the largest increases.
I didn't see it.
Page four,
I'm sorry.
we've seen a drop, an overall drop in attendance by teens at programs, but an increase in all ages, so family events. And then page five, I just wanted to focus on youth services at the main library, which includes teen, and I just put some little stories in there. And I love the first one. A mom in baby time program told the children's librarian that her little one had to go to urgent care the day before, and she was concerned that maybe he wouldn't want to go to baby time, and he chanted books. And she took him to baby time, which is so sweet. And then the second story, a mother came to take photos of the teen room to show her kids, to encourage them to come. And she loved the room so much, and she was grateful that skills trainers are allowed in the room with the teen. And then another teen story, two teens came into play, actually they just came into the teen room, and then they were asked if they wanted to play bingo. At first they were reluctant. They ended up playing and loving it. And I love the quote from the teen girl. She said, "It's the little things that make your day."
All right, any questions? All right, we'll go on to the financial report, Ms. Dantzler.
Okay, so you all can, see the fund report with investments. One thing I'll point out, it's not necessarily on this report, but, we did get our June, deposits for our property tax, so we could do our debt payments. Those were in the bill list. So we, cash flow wise, we're doing well. We still have healthy reserves. We are definitely doing some things right now to, think about what's gonna happen with SB1 and other things, to minimize some of our expenditures, even potentially changing programs. One thing that, we will be, switching our accounting software. They were bought out by another company, but which we're actually extremely happy about, because we will be on the cloud instead of a server. And with that, we'll be able to get rid of our, purchase order software, which we pay a lot for. But we will be saving because it will all be integrated into one, software. So it's probably about at least a $12,000 save once we get, onto that software. So I anticipate us, saving some money, going forward, for the year. We are looking at, procurement sites. We're working with some of our contracts. Our Canon contract will be coming up next year. So we've started looking at those things to see how we can, use some consortiums, things that have already been bid out to be able to get those numbers down. Paying attention to what's going on with the economy. With the appropriations report, really everything is really in alignment, and even probably doing better in some spots than we would hope. Probably the only thing that's over is our administrative software, but we make transfers usually between the other miscellaneous services, just to balance those out. Those will happen in June. And just some of that is just when our contracts come up, just trying to to look at those as they go forward.
Well, and some of that is they were lumped together, all of our softwares, and so the last year or two, we've been trying to like pull out what is software that is just used by staff and what is really public software, and so trying to get those numbers right between the two is taking us a couple of years to figure out.
Yes,
Okay, so that's what I was gonna ask about,
Mhm.
all right, so according to, so we're talking about line 320.
yes.
And so
Administrative
for the
software.
year, our budget is
130 for that budget line.
right,
And it's, let me see if you're in the right part. The appropriation is 101.
the appropriation
The
is 101,
appropriation is 101, that's
and
the
this says
budget.
we spent 130.
Right.
Already, but you're saying that some of that
There are
130 that's a parking space, and some of that's gonna be moved out and put other places?
Right, so if you look at miscellaneous services budget is 300,000, right?
Okay, so three
So
seventy.
we'll make a transfer, as most of you know, that we do transfers usually. Try to do them, I try my best to do them twice a year,
Okay.
so, June and then at the end of the year. So we'll just do some transfers with the budget lines, with the appropriation lines, which is allowed, to just balance those out. So overall, we're not over budget, it's just by accounting line about how we split it, yes. But yeah, you can see miscellaneous services, we haven't spent out of that, it's just trying to figure out, as Stephanie said, exactly where some of those things go, as we've been, since I've been here tracking them over the last couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that, and if you can see in general, we're doing, really well on a lot of things, and so, and just really have been paying attention to how we do our expenditures. Talk about the TMC stuff,
No.
Not yet, okay. The only other thing I'd like to talk about, Trustee Vivian, a little bit, I think right now, the Fed is not planning on doing anything with the interest rates. And so, with the volatility, they're being a little more conservative than, other nations, and they are actually not planning on moving the, interest rates, at least not in June. See what happens after June. We're still at about 4.7% interest, so we're doing really well with our interest rates for trusting again. That's all I have.
Okay,
Unless there's questions.
any questions? All right, so now I'll take a motion to approve the patron engagement report and the financial report.
So move. Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve patron engagement and financial reports. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Is there any unfinished business? So now we are at new business. We're gonna be adding, letter D. When we get there, would be the TMC purchase for Center. So let's go first with the personnel policy, Ms. Yeomans.
Oh, so it's that time again, handbook changes. I try to lay it out in a way that makes the most sense. I always hope for the best on that front, so, obviously, anything that was, just changing the structure around or simple clarifications, it doesn't change the practice of the policy or the procedure, those aren't listed here. Anything that's new or changed substantially is listed here, and of course, Myra saw the whole document before it came to you all, so, yes.
So clarification, so there's other changes that were made that weren't highlighted in this?
That are just like simply like I restructured things, moved things around. Like, oh wait, that sentence doesn't make sense, but it's still the same policy.
Well, okay, no, when you do that again, next time, I'm sure what you did is fine, could you give us a black line? A black, yeah, can you give us a comparison, if you're changing thing that you're not highlighting,
Yeah,
can you give us something that just shows what the current one is
yes,
and what the new one is?
Or something.
And
okay,
it-
yes,
it's-
I can do that. You have both of them, but I can show.
Well, I mean, I don't need it for this, I
Okay.
know what you're saying, but
No,
in the
next year, I'll
future,
show you the,
when you give us something, we should see every word that
if we got something that is the handbook,
Yes.
and we're making changes in the wording in the handbook, then we ought to be able to, without us reading back and forth for 50 pages to see it, we ought to, I shouldn't say we, I would personally like to have a document that shows me,
Sure.
that highlights every, if we take it, something.
Yeah, absolutely. I have that comparison for my own
Right,
purposes, so I'm happy to share that if that would be helpful to you.
yeah.
Mostly, I just thought if I'm adding commas here and there and moving structured around, that it would be too much to digest, but I'm happy to do that. So the first thing that I took out was, in the past, we paid a different amount for working on Sundays. That's no longer the case, but there was this one little blurb in there about Sunday openings having to be approved a certain way, and that was because the pay was different before. So I proposed removing that because it's no longer relevant.
Sure.
The next thing was, on our, pay differentials, we have a shift differential that is specifically for our facility staff that work second and third shift. So yes, we have people that work past 8 PM, but they're not doing that every night, or, you know, that kind of thing. But these people are consistently working second or third shift. And since 2018, which is when I started, they have been paid the same amount per hour additional. It was 25 cents for second shift and 50 cents for third shift. And it struck me this year that, wait a minute, we've increased everything else, we've adjusted for inflation, et cetera, but we haven't looked at this at all. And so when I went back to the 2017 pay ranges, that 25 cents and 50 cents was equivalent to 2% of the minimum pay in that pay range and 5% of the minimum pay in that pay range per hour. And I thought, in a way to kind of remedy this so that we don't lag behind in the future, was to just say, we will pay 2% of the minimum of the pay range and 5% of the minimum of the pay range going forward, and so it just keeps up with everything else. Any questions about that? Because I know it's kind of convoluted before I move on to the next one.
What's the cost differential? What are you adding to the, in other words, when these people go from 25 and 50 cents to 2% and 5%, what's for the number of people, do we know how much it's costing?
Well, there are 2 people on second shift and 1 person on third shift, so it's not significant,
I
just
think I asked her the same question. I think she did the math and it was like $1,000.
a year, yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Sorry.
I mean, that's not an exact number. She had.
Yes,
more
I'm
exact
sorry,
number.
I have the.
I asked the same question and went, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's the
That's
cost of?
Okay.
Great
I clicked out of that to look for that number, and now I don't know what I did with it. Hold on, let me scroll down to where I was. Sorry, everybody. Thank you. Okay, so, additionally, in that same category, pay differentials, we added the following language under our second language differential. So we pay folks who speak Spanish in our test to speak Spanish. And if somebody had another language that was helpful to the library, we would also consider that, but we pay a little bit extra if you can read and or write in a second language and can serve as a translator. We added this little blurb here that says, if you've tested and you're getting paid for this, if you refuse to do it, then you can't receive the pay, or if you're not getting a good performance rating, you can also no longer serve, because if you can't do your basic job, you can't do this extra bonus work, is essentially what it says. We haven't had any issues with that. That was not a reaction to something, but
Not a response.
what'd you say?
I was gonna say the same.
Yeah,
thing. It's
yes.
not in response to anything. Our
Yes, it's
bilingual
like a-
staff is very helpful.
Choice to me.
Yes.
Just, thinking ahead. So group coverage programs, knowing we haven't gotten to our benefits yet, but this is something that was specifically laid out in the handbook. So I wanted to kind of get ahead of a change that I knew I wanted to make when we meet with the brokers. The currently we have basically like 3 or 4 different levels of benefits that administratively is just very cumbersome. And this would eliminate kind of one level there. And it's adding group life, accidental death and dismemberment, and long-term disability insurance benefits for our employees who are between 30 and 40 hours, 30 and 39 hours. Currently, it just goes to our 40-hour folks. It would cost the library under $200 annually. So it's a very small cost for us. And also, we have a few people who are in that 30-hour category that have worked for us a really long time. And it just seemed like the right thing to do. Paid time off. Under our bereavement policy, we've never explicitly stated that a miscarriage is considered a loss of a child. And I know we've had employees who have experienced this and didn't realize that they had some kind of outlet for that. So we just wrote it out specifically there to say that that is included. If we move on down to the next page, which is page 33 in my document. So occasionally our employees have to work on a paid holiday. So a parade, for example, there's the 4th of July parade in North Liberty. We have outreach staff there, we have branch staff there, and they're expected to be there. And so we felt it was only fair that they should receive their holiday pay and pay for actually working that day when everyone else is just receiving the holiday pay. So that is a change that we would like to add. For non-exempt employees, they would be paid for their time in addition, and then exempt employees would have the opportunity to take flex time in that week and take some time off. Leaves of absence. So employees on an approved non-FMLA, so I should stop there and explain what that is. So the law requires employers with over 50 employees to provide family medical leave for up to 12 weeks. For employees that have been there for at least a year, they've worked at least 1,250 hours within that last year. The library, for as long as I've been at the library, and probably a long time before that, has offered a non-FMLA option, which is basically offering kind of the same benefit as FMLA, but for staff who maybe they haven't been there long enough. I benefited from that when I was 6 months pregnant and I started at the library.
They're part-time,
What'd you say?
part-time.
Part-time employees, yes, that was the next thing I was gonna say, who maybe have, they've worked for us for 20 years, but they've only worked 25 hours a week or 20 hours a week, or actually that would be way up tomorrow, but anyway, irrelevant. So somebody gets hit by a car when they first started, like they can't help that, and we don't want them to have a different experience. So it's a very generous policy, one that I love that we are able to offer, but historically speaking, finance department felt really strongly about employees paying the entire premium, the library's entire premium if they were out on that leave, which was not the case for folks who were out on FMLA. And Stephanie asked me about this policy, and it was something that I had kind of forgotten about, and I was like, yes.
It was also not the case if you had paid vacation time.
Well, yes, because you
Remaining.
could remove.
Yeah.
From the pay. So I was thrilled to be asked about it and potentially have it go away.
And I will say, in the 3 years I've been here, we've never done one of these.
Yes.
So it would have to be that hit by a car, kind of like life event happening to you.
Yes, yes.
We don't want to add to their
No, if
lifestyle.
this is one of those situations where asking someone to pay thousands of dollars while they're out, is difficult.
And the change here is the way it is now, if this happened, we're asking them to pay both their portion and our portion
Correct.
of the insurance premium.
Correct.
And now going forward, the library will continue to pay the library portion.
Unless you had vacation. vacation time, in which case we would continue to pay. So
Right.
that was a little different for if we
Right.
had vacation.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's a small percentage of people this would apply to as
Yeah.
well.
Yes, yes. Educational assistance policy, we just beefed up the language there to make it clear when, how, and how long employees had to pay back educational reimbursement if they were to leave the library.
We asked them to stay for 2 years after we pay educational reimbursement.
Yes. And they have 12 months to pay it back. And the only situation where they would not have to pay it back is if their job was eliminated for some reason, that was no fault of their own. Our harassment policy was pretty much only covered sexual harassment in the past, so we beefed that up as well to make sure that we include all forms of harassment. And again, Myra looked over the whole thing. And then I believe no, 2 more. Dress code, we just added the uniforms that people are already wearing, that were not part of the dress code. And emergency closure pay, there are rare occasions where the facility staff have to go out when the weather is terrible and we've closed for that reason. So the same thing with the holiday pay, we want them to be able to receive the same pay that everybody is getting an emergency closure as well as the pay for working. But again, very, very rare. That is all.
Well, this is a lot of work. Thank you. It is. I mean, the details and what you have to think about.
Yes.
Sure.
I'm very lucky to have help this year. It's so great to have a partner in crime to do the handbook.
All right, any questions?
Sure, absolutely.
And I don't know that I have an answer or that I expect you to have an answer. And it's not just us, I get concerned when we start adding so many things into our harassment policy. Because if we say you can't harass, that's one thing and that should cover everybody. When we start dividing it and adding so many things, it seems like then we're gonna have someone offended because we didn't have them. Does that make sense?
Can you,
I don't know.
can you say more about that or give an example?
Because it seems like if we don't tolerate harassment, we don't
Correct.
tolerate discrimination, we shouldn't tolerate it, we don't tolerate it. But when we start defining and adding all these other things, then the next year we end up having to add more because someone else said, well, you didn't put this in it, and it's just like adding that line.
Well,
You
I
said-
can clarify because this is all based on Title VII laws.
Right.
So
That's why I said, I don't know that I have an answer to it, I really
Right.
do have a concern,
Yeah.
because
So
it seems to leave way for people to be
Sure.
offended that we didn't include them.
So this is not
When
based,
you-
this is based on already protected statuses
Right.
under the law.
right,
So we try to stick to those
yes,
items and not,
yeah, there isn't,
Right.
but you're right, there's always that risk of like, well, you didn't specifically call out this one
so-
particular thing.
Yeah,
right,
We try to hit the most,
right.
right, nonverbal harassment could mean other things beyond what it states here. Yes, we just hope that we have cultivated a good enough culture that people, if they feel like they've been discriminated against or harassed, that they will come and discuss that with us, even if it's not explicitly stated in this document.
I
So,
think EEOC likes to see that.
right, yes,
Right.
yes, they do.
Right, and like I said, I know it's Title VII and I know it's legal and I know that's what everybody has to do and they're doing it, it really is concerning because every year it seems we seem to add more. And maybe it's just me and I'm naive, I just figured with myself, I'm
sure, you would like. that to
not
be the
gonna
case, yes.
discriminate against anybody for any of these reasons. I shouldn't have to have them listed.
But for
they do,
us,
They do,
If,
to protect you, you do.
Right,
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
yes, particularly if we had a harassment situation that the employee said, well, it's not in the handbook. Well,
Right.
It is now in the handbook.
Right.
We can in fact stop it.
Right.
So. There is an element of common sense there. I
Yeah,
agree with that.
yes.
Other questions? Do I have a motion to approve these changes in policy?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the policy changes. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work. All right, next we have the Hesburgh Library.
So we're recommending that we discontinue the Hesburgh Library Browsing Collection. We started it in 2019, and it was composed of duplicate copies and materials slated for reading. And each semester, the collection is refreshed. And since the COVID-19 pandemic, patrons are using more ebooks, and we're not ordering as many duplicate copies, so we don't have as many copies to send over to Hesburgh. And we listed the average monthly checkouts. So far this year, the average monthly is 19. It keeps going, or has been going down. And since we don't have as many materials to send over there, we're recommending discontinuing service.
So what are we doing in Hesburgh?
We have a deposit site, so every semester, we select, the collection services department puts out books that we would be withdrawing. They go to Hesburgh, and patrons who have like students, I guess it would be students or faculty who have a Notre Dame Hesburgh library card, they
Right.
can check out the books there, and then they return them there. And we just swap that out every.
So we're gonna, I mean, so going forward after we discontinue these
Just won't
books,
be doing,
we won't have anything at all at Hesburgh. So you're saying we eliminate
yeah,
any services at Hesburgh?
yeah.
Right, okay, got it.
Students still get library cards.
Yes.
They
Right.
can still come.
I mean, right now, can they have books delivered there and return them there? Is it like a place where, I mean, I'm just asking.
Yes,
So right now, if somebody, just like here today in German, my wife told me, she put a book on reserve because she knows it'll be here today
oh.
and told me to pick it up. So right now, so remind me when I'm leaving. Fairly certain I'm gonna forget and have to come back later. But right now, they can do that.
So we're,
But going forward, we're no longer gonna be offering that service to our patrons. They'll have to come to one of our branches. Which is easier because it's so close. It's so easy now to walk up the mile and a half on the yellow brick road from every day.
I didn't have.
Right. Oh, you got it. Okay.
Has Hesburgh Library had any input into
Yeah,
how this is gonna affect them?
we
Yeah,
did
but-
talk with them about it, and they kind of agree that it's
Kind of useless.
right. It started out a really a high circulating service, but it's just kind of dwindled over the years.
Any questions? All right, I will entertain a motion to accept the Hesburgh Library deposit change in policy.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed. Motion passes. All right, next, mobile library.
That's me again.
this is so exciting.
It is.
It is. So a few months ago, you also had a presentation by Mel about a mobile library. And she's been keeping in touch with Farber Vehicles, and they let her know that there's a 2024 Mercedes 2500 Sprinter van available for sale. It only has 50 miles on the odometer, and it's $30,000 less than buying
It's
a
on the
brand.
website.
Oh, did you see a picture of it?
Yeah, it's their demo.
Yep.
That's their
yeah,
demo.
Demo van, yeah.
That's exactly. I was gonna call it a floor model. It's not a.
But they call it a demo.
Same
Yeah.
thing.
And the delivery timeline would be 3 to 6 months. which is significantly faster than the 12 to 18 month wait for a custom built vehicle. And I listed some of the specifications. It has so many things that we were wanting. And it even includes the custom graphics.
Well, they're gonna do the graphics for us for the 190.
We'll design them, but they'll
But
do
they're
the
gonna do
wrap,
it
yeah.
for us.
They'll do the actual wrapping.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's almost exactly what Mel Lutz was recommending to us that she wanted for her team, so. We just saved $30,000, just fine.
And a lot of
and
time.
a lot of time.
And a lot of time. And I did ask her if she felt confident her team could meet that timeline with what they need to do, and she felt confident that they could. I mean, immediately, like you start bringing it to Fusion Fest or whatever, wherever outreach is going anyway.
And it has an awning for shade, which is good. Today.
You know, decided on the fall looking for Christmas.
Yeah, 3 to 6 months, so, yeah, fall for sure.
Yeah.
Fall or December,
It's
by the end of the year,
Yeah.
we're at 6 months.
So have we thought about trying to find one or more donors to underwrite this thing to contribute? Like, I mean, I assume initially we're gonna take, are we planning to take this out of our capital?
We had planned it for our operating budget this year, and we're fine with that. It's actually less than we expected to spend on this project. Our fundraising, we'll do some fundraising for Western this year.
I'm just suggesting this could be a really cool one-time donation to the library that somebody or somebody's might consider. If it's not gonna do for something else that we're asking for, I'm not with that as a form of a motion, but this could be a real opportunity to engage somebody to.
If you know a particular person, if you would,
Or if you would like to do.
I mean, do you think these are whack bastards?
I know. Go over to the square.
No, sir, I mean,
yes,
seriously.
if you have a person, but this, I mean, the salesperson did kind of pressure Mal and was like.
Well, no,
"Oh,
I mean, I think
that's not-"
we have it, but I think I'd be more than happy to work with our person that is, with our staff person.
We'll talk.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can, I've got some ideas.
We can always
There
work
are
to
definitely,
defer less money away from operating if that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you need to just know we have it to get it either way, right? Whether we have donations.
I'd rather keep it in the rainy day fund if we can find an opportunity to engage somebody.
Yeah, but then in the driver from the.
Well, it will be the community services department.
And that's the nice thing about this, it does not require any sort of thing on your license. You don't need a CDL or whatever those other endorsements are.
Any other questions? All right, I will entertain a motion for the mobile library purchase.
I move on that one.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded to purchase the mobile library. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Mobile library is purchased.
Thank you.
And then we have our new agenda item, TMC purchase for center.
So if you want to direct your attention to the screen up here, this is for the play space equipment feature.
Feature.
We're gonna call it a feature at center. So Rana and our youth services senior manager came up with this concept of a teardrop camper. That's a kitchen inside of it.
There will be a kitchen on the back.
On the back,
Teardrop
yes.
Camper.
Bench
has a
and-
kitchen.
You tell
Oh,
them, you know
I'm
better
very
than
excited
me.
about
Yep. Little motorcycle, look at how cute the little motorcycle is.
Center has that star dome that's staying, so we thought camping theme.
Sure.
You go to the next page there.
You can see the kitchen in the bottom left corner. It has the barn on the top.
You zoom in on that just a little bit.
It has interactive features all throughout it.
So these are learning panels, the little squares that you see on the side. You zoom in just a little bit. I can't read that at all. It's okay, wherever you land. just a little plus plus. So some buzzing bees that the kids can move, count the rings. This little fox and friends, they showed us bears and Rana was like, we don't have any bears around here. So we got a fox and a raccoon and an owl.
Those got marks on those.
Yep, so those will be on the exterior, is that right?
With inside and outside.
Inside and outside. And then the kitchen, and then if you would go to the next page. The package includes a canoe
Where's it at?
and a little fire pit.
Aw.
This will go in the library.
Mhm.
That's cute.
Just like that, just like Main Branch has got that whole
Yeah,
area, this is a.
yep, and this falls under our strategic plan of creating destination spaces.
Yeah.
So, cost on Jeanette,
Okay,
80,
yes.
88?
Yeah, so just so you know, so you saw the pictures already, so the camper is 75,000, it's all one contract, but I'm just giving you the numbers. The fire pit is 1,500, and the canoe is 3,764, for a total of, with installation, $88,014.
Was that in the budget for that?
Yes.
It is budgeted,
Mhm.
yes.
So
Well,
we've got,
that is super
we've got the
cute.
funds in the bond issue.
Maybe we can
Oh,
have
no
a
bond at
board-
center.
Yeah, no bonded center, we already
Oh,
had
this
cash.
is the monies we've got,
Yes.
okay.
We already had cash.
Everybody have our board meeting around the campfire.
Very cool.
All right, any questions?
The insulation, if it's inside,
Installation.
installation, or, I'm sorry, I can't hear. All right, I heard installation.
Yeah.
Installation makes more sense.
Any other questions?
Yeah, just one. So how fast does this go up?
Pretty soon.
Pretty soon?
Mhm.
In July.
July?
Because it's for center.
Oh,
The
for
seven
some-
centers getting ready.
It wasn't, we'll have a race to see what could be festival. Or better than Canary.
All right, any other questions? All right, I'll have a motion to approve the purchase.
So move.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the purchase for center. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Other business? None from us? No other business? Okay. And hearing of visitors, do we have any visitors? I think we had two, but they left. Strategic plan updates.
On Jeanette.
Okay, so, my strategic plan update, piece is about, our vendor base. And I've been working probably for, a little over a year, especially as we were moving into the projects, to start figuring out, number one, how to get our smaller businesses to know how to work with the library. So I presented, three times, I think, to some different organizations, and I'm also working with, a group, with the city, Bianca Jones, and, with Notre Dame. Also to just kind of, talk about how procurement works, what happens with that, how do we get, local businesses, smaller businesses, XBE. XBE is, minority owned, women owned, veteran owned, all of the owned, that may not necessarily be seeing those contracts, how do we work together, and how can we share that information. So with the Westford project, what we were able to do is go out and I reached out to Bianca and said, hey, can you give me a list of XBE businesses that we can look at? When the contracted price for those, we don't necessarily have to go, we don't have to go out to bid. We can look at those, read those, decide who we want. And she got me a list. They reached out to those folks. And we were able to use a really great, I didn't see the final product, but I saw during the process, I stopped by here a few times. They did an excellent job doing the interior of the building.
They did an early demo
Early
package, so the
demo,
architects could see what was really going on in the Falcons building.
Yes.
Before we went to bid on it.
They did a great job at that, and we would definitely use them again for something else. But it's really, starting to give us the ability to look at other local, contractors versus always going out and getting, and always going out and getting the big guys, right? We didn't need the big guys to do, an interior demo. How can we use that smaller that can be in our price point and can definitely, do work? So we've been working on that diligently, and then also using the procurement sites through the government that are already bid out, like I said before, to be able to do that, to find other vendors locally. So that's what we've been working on for about a year and a half. Still got a lot more to dive into, a lot more policy to put to paper, but just working through that.
We also have a place on our website where vendors can sign up if they're interested in doing business with us.
Yep.
And so, for example, we had, for the native plants out at Center, and like Wild Ones helped with a Monarch Way Station here. He's got a business on the side doing that for profit as well as his volunteer work. So he connected with me on LinkedIn and said, hey, by the way, I do this. And I said, well, just fill out this form on our website, and that helps us be aware of who locally is able to do the business.
And even like with Western, we're looking for someone to be the landscaper, maybe just at Western, the new Western, because it is such a large. We have a large plot of land, right? So even though we're not developing all of it, we've got a big grass lot back there. What is Joe gonna do with it? How is he gonna maintain that? I don't know if Probringer can do that, but he really would like to have someone that's their main focus. So what companies local can we work with?
To find someone from the neighborhood.
Yeah, someone in the neighborhood that would like to do it.
This sounds like the old Ask a Librarian, but would this information be available to members, to card holders? I mean, in the future, what I'm just saying is, if I live on Western and I need my lawn mowed, who would I call?
Oh, you mean that way?
Oh, no, I probably wouldn't.
Oh, okay, I'm just
Yeah,
trying
not
to
recommending
think.
anybody.
Okay, not recommending.
Not when it comes to businesses.
Oh, no.
We have a lot of other resources for people, but when you get into recommending businesses,
Okay.
it gets.
For that.
But I liked your initial thought and I
Yeah.
had to think about it.
would you be able to have that list of the vendors that the library uses? Just as a list so the public knows that these people are willing, and not necessarily recommend them, but
They're all, I mean, it's all, our bill list is always available to the public if they ask for it, as well
And I
as a
would say,
list of
well, we-
contractors.
I know what you're-
What we're doing with Notre Dame and the city, and the city's process is exactly the same as ours, same thing with the school district, it's the same as ours. Once I kind of, learned about how it works, it actually works the same for everybody, because we have Indiana code, and it's basically the same code. And some entities may have a larger amount or smaller, but it all works the same. So for us, we share amongst ourselves. So that's how I just emailed Bianca and said, hey, you got a list? They've got a pretty robust list, but if I get some other people on my list, so we share amongst those governmental entities.
But who is Bianca?
Bianca is in the office, and I'm not gonna get the.
City clerk.
city clerk.
No, that's not that Bianca.
Okay.
Yeah, there are two Biancas at the city. This Bianca is with the Office of Diversity, and I'm not sure what it's called
Is
now.
that Bianca? What's her last name?
I think it's Jones. Yeah.
She also has a painting company on the site.
I do not know. I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, so she works for the department. I can find out, exactly
Just-
what you all need that, but yeah.
Could you might have said this at the beginning, but could you connect the dots? What this effort that you're doing, how does it connect to the strategic plan?
Where is it?
The strategic plan piece is diversify our vendor base.
Okay.
So that our vendor base looks like our community, right?
Okay, any other questions? All right, so the next library board meeting dates, Monday, July 28th at Western. August 25th, downtown, and September 29th downtown. Any final comments? All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
I.
Aye, opposed? Motion passed, we are adjourned.
Oh, that's